Hopefully we're going.
I think we're going.
It's Friday. Positive vibes.
Let's go.
Stock market support group. NIO stock support group. Check. We're here. It's
check.
Mustache,
1, 2,
Seth,
3.
NIO Ron. We're here.
I don't even think Chad has seen me this November.
Chad hasn't seen you in a while.
Not this November.
Chad might not even remember who you are.
It's no shave November, chat.
No shave November.
No, I'm just playing. But the mustache is from a little bit into November. Everything else is.
I didn't set this up right.
Yeah, that's all right.
To everybody.
Can you hear us well?
Can you hear us?
Apparently they can't because no one's saying anything.
I know, it's super quiet. They're just looking and laughing.
They're
like, it's these guys again.
Who's this guy?
It's the smiley guy and his buddy with the stash. That's right.
We're here.
Jakes, what's up, buddy?
Let's go.
Welcome.
We can hear. That's good. It's always good to know.
We are in, I don't know if you saw, that BAM we're in like a sort of crash window. Anything could happen.
How big is the window?
Well, he had talked about this being the most bearish time way back in August. Remember that YouTube video?
Yeah.
And he was like, September through November is kind of like, be really careful.
Like a no-go.
Yeah, like be super careful out there.
Well, last week was crazy.
Well, it sure feels like
I saw some crazy gains on calls last week, which is something that I haven't seen in a long time, it feels like.
Well, I know some folks are going to want to, and I'm talking about the big money folks.
The big money.
Folks play the big games with a little manipulation.
We're playing checkers. Maybe. They're playing chess.
They're going to want to get some money in by the end of the year, I'm sure.
Oh,
so
yeah, you got to. I'm trying to see, did the S&P ever break above 400?
It hasn't gone back since that day we were talking about it the other day. It's like 393.
Was it yesterday? Today. Yesterday we touched, or was it 2 days ago? We touched like 400.
Yeah, that's when we were talking.
One of the okay, because one of the dudes at my work.
We have famous people stopping.
What are they saying?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yes, we can hear Roman. Let's go. Let's go, Roman. How we doing, Daniel? No shave ever for me. He might want to consider maybe Daniel.
Going full on.
He's going Santa. Freedom Mike. Aaron and Seth, how's it going?
Check your Twitter. DMs,
check the DM, dude. Check the DM. Let's talk. Let's talk. Smoking. What's up? Don't forget to leave a like, everyone. Yes, right. Always. Show your support. If you're here, you might as well take like 10 seconds to do it. It's really easy.
Real YouTubers do that.
Super easy. We're real now.
Are we?
We're demanding likes.
I don't know.
And even a subscribe.
Emiliano, what's up in Greece?
Let's go.
What's the weather like there? Because it's cold here.
My mom's in Spain right now, dude. Oh my god. Malaga, Spain is where she's at right now. Beautiful. She just landed, dude. I didn't know they had palm trees in Spain. I don't know if it is a palm tree or if I'm just not familiar with the type of tree that she was hitting, but they look like palm trees. And I was like, what? In Spain? Is that a thing in Spain?
I mean,
anyone from Spain in here? Let us know. Y'all got
all that matters.
Y'all got palm trees?
Let's see.
Is it snowing there?
No,
the other day. Not today, but it is about 20 degrees out and a bitter cold Midwestern wind.
And that wind comes from the north.
It's flurried the past 2 days, but none of the flurries have been heavy enough to like stick or anything. So how about the Buffalo? Have you seen the Buffalo Browns games? They moved it from New York because they were supposed to get 4 to 6 feet of snow in Buffalo. They moved it to Detroit, and now the players can't get to Detroit because of the snowstorm. So they're just they're about to just cancel the game altogether. I was like 4 to 6 feet.
That's going to change the DraftKings lineup. All right.
A little bit.
Back to Ishi. What's up?
Ishi said, where do you guys see NIO in 2030? Give me a price prediction, not holding you to it, just making small talk. 2030 is a ways away.
I'd love to see.
Guess we could give a goal.
How about let's see a 20x at least from here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was going to say 3 digits got to be a goal. I wouldn't call it a prediction. I'd call it a goal.
Why dream small when you can dream bigger? That's all I'm saying.
Freedom answered, said, I sent a DM back.
Yeah, but he can't get on. That's all right.
I got you. I'll catch you guys one of these days. That's cool, Freedom, man. Appreciate the answer.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thanks for stopping in. As always, Daniel said, can you believe they let me play Santa being positive influence on kids' lives? What an honor.
That's awesome. Good for you, Daniel.
Peter, what's up, Peter? Peter from Canada.
Peter drops the best comment section on, like, you go to any random NIO video and he'll have this in-depth breakdown. It's like, don't be playing with Peter.
Dude, the people in here are just low-key know like more than us. They just don't want to show it.
Look, the NIO global community is no joke.
They don't want to up us.
It is no joke.
Nikos, let's go. Love the stash and Aaron's hair. Really cool.
Yes, it was a pretty good hair day.
We're looking pretty original. I actually put in some, it's called leave-in conditioner.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a nice aroma, I think. You know.
Hair lady kind of set me up. It's like this green like pudding type of gel. And I honestly have no clue I just rubbed it in, and this is how we're looking. A little mountainy up at the top, but we're good. Emiliana said we still have a nice sunny weather. Emiliana from Greece. I feel like Greece is just like never like. I don't want to say it's never bad, but like I'm saying like if you're not getting below 30 degrees, then you're good. You're good. You're good. Daniel said sunny and 45 in Seattle. Whoa.
Nice.
Seattle's even warmer than
Roman says you want snow, come to northern Alberta, Canada. No, I'm good. I'm good, buddy. I'll wait for the depths of summer.
Where I do want to go in Canada is I want to go to Banff, Canada, and I want to golf.
Where's that?
Banff? I'm not sure where it's at, like geographically, but I've had my friend went to Banff on a fishing trip with his dad.
Okay.
And they golf there, and it's like mountains, like waterfalls in the background of their golf courses. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Freedom Mike, do we miss? Okay, we got that. Freedom said if NIO can hold the gains that they get, we'd be back to 20 in no time.
You're right about that.
I'm thinking 25 to 30 end of year 2023. Yeah, my end of year prediction this year is looking kind of far away. We might make a run here, boys, but then again, you guys asked me like 2 months ago, so.
Well, I had said all year my biggest concern was the market overall, and we're not done with volatility.
No, so not even close. I don't think.
I don't want to speak on anything until we get that.
So hard to
kind of
give us your price prediction. If you got one, let us know. Peter, thumbs up. Jake said, going to conspiracy here. All right, let's go. What do you see happening to NIO when the elites ban cars? And common people will be riding electrical buses 2030. Sounds like a futuristic like type of movie, like a Terminator's kind of movie. Like in the future, 2030.
Sci-fi. I think that actually, like on the real, I'm watching this great reset stuff, but I'm also watching what's happening with BRICS. And I'm also watching the potential for digital currency, especially as we have this shakeout with crypto. Crypto is being really shaken hard right now. So, so there are like 3 different things. They might all be somewhat connected. I don't know, but I'm just kind of, again, you guys know me. My sort of view is I want to be on the sidelines, just kind of watching, studying, and observing, and not trying to take this view or that view. Just try to gather whatever data I can and then see. All right, this seems like the direction.
Being open-minded is always a good thing.
Yeah, it's hard to do, but
it's hard to take sides when markets are like this. You can't.
Well, like, let's say one of those things happened or a couple of those things happened, then, what does that mean for China? I think either way, China is moving in the direction where they're going to catch the U.S. So NIO being well positioned there seems like and that's one of the reasons I picked it, was I don't know what the direction for the U.S. is. And I wish I did. I wish I had more confidence, but it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a little wild out
It's hard to guess out here, guys.
These Americanos running around.
King Pop, let's go. He said, I hope 30 by June. That's middle of next month. That'd be nice. So, Trent, I'm invested in NIO, but won't add any more until they scale back in the models and do a 180 on the battery swapping cash burn. What a colossal mistake. All they had to do is follow Tesla's playbook.
Oh, on the battery swap, the government in China, actually, that was the biggest sort of play with that in my mind. And so I don't mind seeing all the people who say they don't like it. The problem is it doesn't matter what any of them or me think. The Chinese government has already said they're going to that, and they've named NIO in policy. So they're sort of made in that space and sector.
I mean, and as
partnerships with the state grid and Sinopec, which are the state-owned basically gas station and energy providers, in conjunction with NIO going to all NEVs means like that's just the direction they're going. So,
and I mean,
what the U.S. does with it may be very different,
right?
But NIO doesn't need the U.S. to adopt it.
That's why, I mean, I get where you say like all they had to do is follow Tesla's playbook, and maybe in terms of like success here, but you don't if you just follow a playbook of another large mover or first mover, you'll never have the advantage, right? You'll always be trailing.
Yeah.
If you're following someone else's business model per se, as you're saying, playbook in the terms of business, and you're following, then you're never really going to be at an advantage, right? You're always just going to be behind. And maybe it's successful short term, but you're never going to be as big as the person that you're following because they were there first, right? I mean, if they get there first, they have the advantage. And in macroeconomics, that's, I mean, a key. That's
well, and here's the other. It's funny because 3 companies, all 3 of them, I remember people bad mouthing them when I went to prison back in 2011-ish, 2012, something like that. Tesla, Amazon, Apple.
Yeah.
All 3 of them were getting hated on by people. The reason is because they were innovative and disruptive. And that means you're going to have people who have different views. That doesn't bother me.
I think that's what you need. I think that's like
so I don't mind when I see
not a key to success, but
with that different lens,
a factor,
like,
though.
Cool.
You
that
can't,
means we've got something that's innovative.
You have to be open to interpretation and open to adjusting certain parts of the model. If
but I also think that
you want to excel further than your competitors, then something's got to be different, right?
The level of innovation and disruption is part of why the stock prices trade the way they do until profitability is reached. And all those companies, no different. They all had challenges with their stock prices. NIO we're seeing more volatility, but we got a little bit of a tease from NIO with the old, $60+ little early short squeeze action. We're waiting on a comment. Sorry, we went off there on that one.
We're going though.
But that was a good one.
But Trent I mean, I like that you're invested, man, but I would say just don't be too close-minded on the business model situation side, Well,
it's hard to recognize the difference in the markets.
It is. Especially right now. It's Douglas said, kind of feel like we were duped with the Hong Kong listing. Doesn't seem to have reduced share count on New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, I know you've been watching on that, Douglas, and wondering about that. I actually don't know that it matters because even if you moved a bunch more over there, there's nothing to stop the naked shorting and the. I was
going to say, I don't know if the float is going to do a whole lot right now.
Would necessarily change. If shorts want to break the law and get away with it, they're probably going to be able to.
And especially right now, the float is going to. It's just. I mean, it does matter. It does matter.
And we won't,
right.
We can't track it real time. But I'm at the point where I'm like profitability. Let's see profitability.
Yeah. And it would also, it'd be nice to, see how many shares were actually, because we still are unknown about the number of total shares that actually got.
I don't know what the number is.
I mean, we've been wondering about that since November, December when they first had gone. I mean, we've been asking back in the day. King Pop said, if we can get to 30K monthly deliveries,
talking about price action.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, I mean, 30K is obviously beautiful. It's a great number. Jake said, I'm thinking it will take at least all of 2023 to hold $20. So be it. I've waited long enough. I mean,
watching for the big money push, one way or the other. Either shorts getting burned up or money flow coming back.
Waiting another year's.
Because I'm still researching in the background, and I know that a lot of people don't watch my general market videos. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's why I just left the one and didn't do a follow-up for this week, but because I didn't get a lot of views on the last one. That's okay. But I think the Fed is going to make it real obvious, and they've already told us they're going to bring more pain, and they have more ability to move markets than anyone else. And so the U.S. and the stock market in general, I think, is going to be sort of further control crashing with them sort of at the control, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. And I've been going to guys who have a lot more experience, who have been through numerous crashes before, who are kind of breaking things down. And that's why I'm thinking this way. But also, Powell told us flat out. And when he was asked how long the pain would go, he was talking about all the way till potentially 2025. So you tell me, if you got big money and you can cycle out of this crap market, if they're going to slow bleed it out for a year or two and then force a recession at the same time, is it not going to make sense to go into, I don't know, an emerging market like China that's obviously going to catch us even faster then? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's part of why I picked NIO. And yes, I know some people their first thing is like, wait, Chinese based? But that's actually part of the reason. I'm like, yeah, the future.
Yes.
I came back and I remember going to prison and they were talking about, oh, Amazon, woo, 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 that's a trash company. And I come back and there's Amazon like
everywhere,
vans all over.
Everywhere.
I'm like, whoa,
there's
this is crazy.
Pretty much everyone in your neighborhood every time I pull.
Yeah.
There was today I pulled in and he was pulling out of the thing when I came into the neighborhood.
But it's hard to predict that change. And
it is.
So I get why people have a hard time conceptualizing that.
Oh, for sure. You just got to see it to believe it, I guess.
I wouldn't believe some of the stuff, you know?
Right. King Pop said, go invest in BYD then.
No, I mean, it's all good. Like,
it's a valid opinion. I mean, you want what you want, but
obviously, I think the market difference really makes it really shifts things for me.
Sure. Paul said Banff is in Alberta.
There you go.
There we go.
So you can
beautiful
maybe
place.
Stop by and see Roma when you're there.
2 hours west of Calgary. Okay.
Of course, Alberta's probably huge though.
Yeah.
Those provinces are
big old provinces. Mm-hmm. Peter said that it's 2 hours west of Calgary.
Everybody except us. We're the
for real.
Americans.
I just want to go. I just want to go.
Lawnmower Bear. Yes, I actually do have a TikTok. I dropped the basketball challenge video, and I have the link in the description down wherever the description is from here. If you want to check it out,
wherever it's at,
it's good times. It's fun.
Is it Aaron Trending?
Yeah, it's Aaron Trending. I couldn't change the name.
At Aaron Trending.
Yeah,
just like it's spelled, just minus the NIO.
Yeah, trying to keep it consistent so it's simple for people to find me. Also, I have an Instagram and a Facebook, but I haven't gotten on them yet. I had help setting them up because I'm the tech.
But investing content is coming soon on the TikTok. Just not there yet. We're working.
It's gonna be good.
We're working. Roman, Banff is in my province of Alberta. It's beautiful.
Yes, I knew it.
In the Rocky Mountains, dude. Yeah. Friend that went there was sending me pictures. I was so jealous. Looked amazing. King Pop said we need a car factory in Europe. Those tariffs are a huge barrier.
Yeah, let's see what happens, especially maybe in Germany. Knock on wood. I don't know.
Freedom. I'm curious to see deliveries each month in 2023. Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm.
Paul said the U.S. don't even know the direction they are going themselves in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Feels like we're a lot like the market in the U.S. We're up, down, up, down.
You know,
up, down.
The biggest thing that I noticed coming back from prison, the media has been weaponized.
Whoa.
I didn't want to say it too loud. It's serious. And the political divide is so bad. It's so toxic.
Oh, if you've watched any of the elections since 2019, then you're probably well aware that the media has been
rough. Yeah. So that makes it hard as a country to kind of move forward, you know, when you got all that going on. So, and that's why I'm not sure. I can't get a clear, good read on the depth of, you know, things like digital currency. And if the Fed's going to start messing with something like that, or if the Great Reset stuff is involved, the World Economic Forum or something like that. I think they're the folks. I just don't know. I'm just kind of, we'll see. But I'm going off topic. Sorry. We'll rein it in.
We'll see.
We'll bring it back.
Freedom Mike said, I'm extremely bullish on NIO's battery swapping abilities. I mean, that's gotta be, right? Pop said, at Mike, we have a 20K month capacity for 866. Once we retool them for new models, assume we have the demand, it would be a huge ramp up in deliveries. But retooling does take a month for each line.
Those are the original models.
Gotcha.
But we're seeing delivery times reduced right now. So knock on wood. Let's get that new delivery record in November, and then we'll go from there.
Poe said, waiting for NIO to hit $40 so that I can get out and cut my loss at 20%.
Okay. At least you know where you want to get out.
Like, if you got a plan,
it's important that you know whatever you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Jake said, so this week Thursday is closed and Friday is a half day based on my puts I'm selling. I think that we're looking at a chance to be at $9.50 close to next Friday.
Okay, good to know, Jake. Appreciate your insight. And
like the little insight.
I remember last Thanksgiving, it was they had the weird half day.
Mm-hmm.
Market shut down on Thanksgiving and then half day on Friday. And I remember watching things like it was clear to see in the middle of the night. I woke up and saw it, like the market's moving, and I'm like, wow, there are games going on here. Because you can't tell me in the middle of the night on a long holiday weekend that
when stuff's moving,
Wall Street big dogs are over there.
Well, they're getting ready.
At work. You know?
They're not at Thanksgiving. They're not at Thanksgiving dinner, just sitting there. They're ready.
It's wild.
I'm pretty sure, also kind of off topic, but I'm pretty sure Hy-Vee is now closed on Thanksgiving.
Stop it.
Yeah. I had to work Thanksgiving at Hy-Vee.
Well, they hired me because I worked Fridays and Saturdays. That's all they wanted me for.
Like, you'll sell your soul to us?
They were like, Friday, Saturday nights?
Yes. You're the guy.
They were desperate. They gave me a shot. I was happy.
Freedom Mike came back, said, the ET5 will carry NIO in deliveries. Such a great valued car.
And the analysts consistently were asking about that in the earnings call and the scaling and how fast. And so they see that. I think they see that as the point at which NIO is going to get to profitability. So they're like, all right, how fast can they really ramp and get these deliveries out? So by end of this year, we're going to have a better idea. It's going to be fun to see.
Douglas said, was it a surprise to you that we didn't rally on some good PCAOB news?
Nope, didn't surprise me. The backdrop of the market, and I talked in the video that not a lot of people watched about the FTC and how that or FTX, the whole crypto thing. So many big money players,
a lot of people got caught
into
that.
Things, and a lot of those big money folks are not going to talk about it. But at the same time, they've got the Fed increasing rates and making it more difficult, basically, for some of those institutional investors to generate more profits. And so it's an interesting time. I think a lot of them are way over leveraged, and they're actually going to have to do some selling and make some moves and reallocations. So what I'm waiting and still watching for is whenever the money flow comes back to NIO and Chinese stocks, and I'm looking for that 100 million a day average volume day after day after day for like several weeks with that uptrend that's obvious. I do think we'll see it. I don't know when. And maybe they are waiting for the official behind the scenes word from the PCAOB. We're heading in the direction of that, but there's still a lot of disconnect and bigger picture, I think, in the background. The big dogs have a lot more money issues than some of us probably realize.
And I think, a lot more people I think are worried about the overall market more than just like a PCAOB meeting and stuff like that for it to really
that big money
change.
Big money is what moves a stock or a sector. And so until big money gets shaken out or moves on its own, I just don't think we're going to see any significant
large moves.
If that makes sense. Yeah. Unless they get caught in a short squeeze, which could also happen. But
we can pray.
Mm-hmm. No financial advice, by the way.
Always.
Look at us. Why would we
still no sign?
We're having way too much fun just hanging out.
Peter said NIO is delivering now in Q3 as what Tesla was delivering in Q1 2018. 29K.
This quarter is going to be fun to see if they can really come in. And they gave us that bigger range on the guidance, 43 to 48,000. And normally they'll give us just a couple thousand range. So that in itself was kind of a validation in my mind that they don't even know how fast they can ramp, but the potential is there. We're on the cusp of it.
For sure. Jake said, also, wasn't it about this time of year in 2008 when Lehman collapsed, FTX, what does it mean for the overall market? Thoughts?
That's my thought.
We've been talking about it a lot.
That's my thought. And I was actually in real estate during that time. And so one of the things that I had seen being in real estate was I saw big money was way over and on the part of the leverage side of things. They had gotten way too greedy, and that's what's happened again here. And so I don't know how much they're going to have to pull in. I don't know how over leveraged some of these folks are. I don't know the level of the ripples that will come across, but they're going to come across, and it's probably going to be a little bit before we know, it's crazy fascinating because you bring it up, and it's in line with the time frame that BAM had on the board for a long time. He was just like, hey, this is a really bearish time. And I kept saying in videos, I'm like, well, I'm expecting a Fed pump or a political pump rather with the midterms. But I'm like, I don't know what that means. Maybe that just means it doesn't tank. Yeah. So, I mean, we're still in that time frame where by end of year, are we going to keep the slow bleed out? Are we going to have a significant drop? Those are kind of the things I'm watching for. But let's see what else we got. So if you didn't catch my video, Jake's, and maybe it just wasn't put out there for people to see, I talked about some of the potential ripple effect. I just don't know, man.
Trying to find what the SPY is at today because I haven't even checked. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be rude. I'm just trying to. I haven't been in the market all today. I got off work.
Looked at it.
Oh, it's at 396. That's not bad. It
what's
dropped
the-
like
wait, what's the trade
$10
volume,
yesterday.
What's the volume compared to the average? It's lower, right?
Ooh.
Lower than the average generally tells me it's easier to push around in whatever direction.
A little bit lower. About 10 mil. About 10 mil lower.
And it's Options Friday, so who knows what market makers need it to do.
Right. King Pop at for your mic, if they can do an ET3 similar to Price Model 3, it would be better. Emiliano said, from now on, I'll be checking lithium carbonate process. NIO said for every 100K RMB difference in price, their margins go up or down by 2%.
Yeah, that's a big thing. NIO invested in a company from Australia that's in that segment for a reason, but also there was a post, and I think I retweeted it this morning, that China was looking into the companies that were doing that and making sure that they weren't price gouging, basically. So that could get reined in anyway. I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good point and something to keep an eye on for the margins for sure.
Jake said, agree, Aaron, your Fed speak, you're 100% spot on.
Yeah, I mean,
that pump.
We can think whatever we want, but whatever the Fed decides to do is where we're at. They control money supply and rates.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. And if they are promising pain, I'm not bullish on the U.S. with them promising pain.
Right.
And without someone in a leadership position who will actually say, hey, no, stop hurting the people. But we don't have that right now.
No. It's kind of like a let go by kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ishii said, big ups from Los Angeles. Are you guys more on the left or the right? Hashtag Trump 2024. We try not to get too big on politics.
I never liked politics before. And then I actually have I'm a class A felon, a little thing called cannabis. It was a cannabis charge, but they hit me with the max penalty because I basically wouldn't help send other people to prison. I didn't feel right about that. I wasn't going to lie for them and send people to prison. I didn't think that was right. So they charged me and I fought, went to trial, lost. They gave me a 10-year mandatory minimum sentence. I can't vote. And so that's where I'm at I like ridiculous. Politics even less now. So, but I try to just sit back and watch everything. And, I think the sides need to work together. And I think that's better for the people.
That's a crazy proposition.
It's an unfamiliar notion at this.
It really is. It really is. Jake said, right now, Powell is known as the guy who missed the inflation transitory. In my opinion, he's leaning on his legacy of crushing the inflation, getting it under control. Yeah. Now.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and you know what else, Jake? It's a great point. And one of the guys I've been listening to is Paul. Oh, I'm gonna forget. Yep, it's gone. Long tenured guy's been in the business. Rosenberg or Paul Rosenberg. Why does that sound wrong? Anyway. He has been through, and he basically said, look, Powell keeps talking about Paul Volcker, for a reason. He wants to be that guy. And that guy jacked up the interest rates by like 10%. And he said, and don't think that Powell isn't ticked off that everybody's laughing at him because he was so wrong. So he also has maybe a little incentive to go,
a little vengeance.
Let me go ahead and really put y'all through some pain. And he's promised
that's messed up.
That's
messed up.
Again, I'm just kind of like, all right, how long is this going to go?
Yeah. Lawnmower said, Aaron, could you share some of your big picture investing wisdom in a video? A lot of us investors would appreciate it. Yes. What is the big picture?
But it's really unconventional. I got to warn.
Gotta let you know before.
But yeah, well, I will definitely be bringing some more content out.
Heck yeah. King Pop said recent CFO interviews sound confident in meeting Q4 guidance, so we shall see.
Yeah, Stephen Fang, shout out Stephen. He has no idea who I am, but that's okay. He had good stuff to say.
One day.
I think I retweeted that one too.
Douglas, you mentioned a short squeeze, but isn't short interest pretty low, like 3%?
Yes. One thing that's really interesting, Douglas, if you haven't looked it up, look up the fails to deliver or the failures to deliver on the SEC or FinTel filings. You can pull them up for different companies. It's really interesting to kind of go this route and if you look at NIO's history and where the fails to deliver really spiked and were high, and then when they kind of dropped down, and then when they dropped down, what NIO price did in the months after that. Now, here's the tricky part, and this is the issue, one of the issues. is all that data is delayed. It's like weeks later when they release it. So we have no way of tracking it.
You can never be ahead.
We don't know what it is. And so it's just once again where on the retail side, it's hard for us to really get a grasp of what's happening in the present. But
we're so delayed.
Yeah,
we're so behind.
That's why I say, look, for me, it's 100 million shares traded daily for a number of days, weeks, ideally with a continuous uptrend. And that's an indicator. It doesn't have to be a short squeeze. I'm not in this play for that. But I think we've seen it before. And if you look that up, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's hard to like just dismiss that as a possibility.
Right.
Because we don't have real-time data. We don't know what is going on behind the scenes.
We just know what has happened and can kind of use that to predict what might maybe happen again.
Knock on wood. But I'm really expecting money flow back rather than a short squeeze. So I'm not in the play for that.
Andy said, "Hi guys, I've been DCA forever, and I don't see the end sights."
What's the goal? And thank you, Andy. Appreciate you. What's the goal? Meaning, what's your time frame? How long are you willing to wait? 2030? Are you willing to wait for that?
By the way, you guys are awesome. Thanks, Andy, man. We appreciate it.
We bring awesome vibes. Hey, I will say that.
If you believe in it, man, and it's your play, and you got conviction in it, then DCA is pretty much the best you can do right now. There's not too much else you can do right now, to be honest. But it's a good play. And
it's funny. Let's say, and I'm not predicting it, but let's say in 3 months, the price has doubled or tripled.
Sure.
How many people are going to go, oh man, I wish I would have bought back in? You know what? But it's been sitting here for a minute. And that's what's funny for me.
You had your chance. You can't say you didn't have your chance to get in at a good price.
And then they go, oh man, I should have listened.
You probably had the biggest chance like ever in the history of ever to get back into where you want to get back in right now. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's wide open. I really don't have an expectation up or down right now because until the market volatility shakes out, I just don't know.
Right. Charles said, hi, Mr. Smiley.
What's up,
Let's
Charles?
go, Charles. Peter, it took NIO 34 days to win the most important German automotive industry award and winning the Golden Steering Wheel Award for the ET7, beating Tesla, BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, and Volkswagen.
I think we need to pin that one. I think that's the one.
All right, Peter. You got it.
Pinned. We got to let people know. Let's go.
It's quite the award. Roman said, I know it feels like we have been hovering around 10K deliveries forever, but I strongly believe when we finally hit a big 20K delivery month, the stock price will shoot.
It's a great point, Roman, and that's my thing. Again, my thinking is not what we're doing. I want to see what is the big money going to move on. Are they going to move on that? Are they going to move on the behind the scenes when they know that PCAOB is giving the all clear for the Chinese companies that they looked at, or the auditors that they looked at? You know, those are the kinds of things I'm thinking. And so I'm kind of like, all right, how far behind is big money? Like, some of them know what's up, but a lot of them, I've seen what the researchers and their analysts talk about. They don't do deep dive research, and so I don't know how many are really trailing and missing. Well, in my opinion, they're missing, but we'll see when they start scrambling.
Yeah, I think that 20K's got to be huge. I mean, I think people are going to really react to it. I don't know if it will necessarily flip the script on the whole thing, but I think it's definitely going to be a positive thing. I don't think
I want to see price action then too. I want to see if big money's paying attention, or
let's get some volume going. Let's get some deliveries going. Let's get some action.
Here's your question: if NIO can do in a month for deliveries what Lucid can do in a year, how?
Why are they valuated at what they're valuated at?
Interesting for me. It's really interesting. But that's the short term. Short term is not one year.
That is the short term. Charles said at Peter 34 days, that's amazing. NIO is a beast.
That was so positive. That was big.
Domenico, what's up, man? I think big news of a week is going to see the president of the US and China. It's going to be good in the same week. This news, China's happy to open their book.
Yeah, with the PCAOB, yeah. I do, and I thought it was funny, the PCAOB statement. It was kind of like, well, you know, we don't know if they've completely complied, they're just trying. It's almost like they're trying to push the foot on and just let's fearmonger a little longer.
Why not? Hasn't been long enough, apparently.
That's that media craziness.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
King Pop said this month we are on track for 14.2 deliveries with the linear ramp up. So I think we have a good chance of being 15 and maybe even 16. That'd be juicy. It'd be juicy, King Pop.
It's
but
definitely possible.
I'm gonna hold you to it now, King Pop. I'm gonna be real mad. It's not.
King Pop. What are you calling King Pop? Let's be clear. Which one are you calling for this month? Let's go. I want to see you call it.
Morty.
Morty, what's up?
All right, Morty, what's up, man? Domenico said one battery swap station opened in the Swiss. I hope more battery swaps open in Europe. Come expansion.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're in
slowly but surely, right?
Yeah, and they set a number out, 100 and some, I think, by the end of the year. Which
in Europe,
if you think about it, that's like a month.
That is like a month.
Crazy.
Yeah. End of year is coming, boys. All of the predictions are finally being put to test. Back when we were guessing in like August and stuff, everyone's like, ooh, juice is on.
Thank you. Says, yeah, Sweden. Yeah, I think I tweeted that or hearted it or liked it or something.
Charles said, can I ask you, Aaron, how did you pass the time in the big house? Ooh, you're such an easygoing guy. Did you have any other altercations with any inmates? Sounds like a question I would have asked Aaron right when I met him.
Actually, when people were still working with me, they were like, "No, you weren't. You weren't in federal prison. Like, you're too nice." And I'm like, and then I'd show them the ankle monitor that I was wearing, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
It's crazy. If people don't think about it because you get the stereotype and all this stuff, and that's not to say there's not all kinds of stuff, but it's dads and sons and brothers and uncles and grandsons and grandfathers, and like it's people in there, and so for me, I went in and I actually was able to get a job as a tutor, and so I worked with all the guys who came through the education department, and that was kind of cool because then I really got to kind of see and talk to everybody who came through. And that was a thing, but I was kind of easygoing and really, it's, I can't remember who said it, but somebody was just like, if you want to get along in prison, just be polite and don't cross them. Like, just treat people how you want to be treated. And for the most part, that's it. That's not to say, everybody has their days. And everybody,
sure.
And you never know.
When you wake up in that environment, I think days are bound to happen.
Well, and you never know if somebody else, his wife is cheating on him or left him or whatever. Like, you just don't know what somebody else is going through. And having been on, that side of, I've had my days, like, it's just, we're people, and you get along. Even if you maybe don't know someone or want to spend a lot of time with them, you're still there and you can figure it out or not. But one way or another, you still got to do the time. So most guys tolerated me pretty well.
He was just the best basketball player, so he got all the props, all the credit.
Some of the guys, didn't like when they saw me on the court. They were supportive and cool about that.
Yeah. At the TikTok, y'all. If y'all don't know, check out the TikTok. You'll see
basketball videos.
Heck yeah, the OG Aaron YouTube. Back when this was just a basketball channel, not a NIO channel. Well, not this one specifically. So yeah, Charles, to answer your question, how did you pass time? Tutoring,
studying anything and everything I could.
Getting better.
Training. Some places don't have a weight pile or whatever, but some places do. And you can always find somebody, especially if they've been locked up for a long time, they'll show you how to train with body weight. And that's one thing guys
they'll
can
get
do
you
there.
there.
Yeah,
They'll get you there.
You can get right.
Daniel said they have no clue what they're selling or buying. Give me more. Daniel's fishing, baby.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, he loves it. He is in.
Hey, below 20. I've always said below 20. If we're below 20 right now, we happen to be like almost half below 20, like half 20. So.
Like I said, whenever it does shoot, it's gonna be funny because people are gonna go, "Oh, I should have."
Now people are gonna be buying as it's shooting.
That's also gonna happen. Yeah.
I only say that because I did it, and I know what it's like to be like, "Oh my god, I did it."
I love we got side chat going. It's good stuff.
Is anyone buying more shares today or waiting for a bigger dip to come next week? It's so hard to predict if there's going to be a bigger dip necessarily next week or if it's going to go up next week. I think that you should maybe look at it in more of like a broader, like you have one price. If it's below that price, no matter where it's at, you're like trying to get it there, because if you try and micromanage the market and being like, oh, will it go down to 9 versus at 10, you might miss out on a buying opportunity.
Yeah. I also, for me, it's different, TLM, too little money. That's my problem. So I just kind of add when I can. And I figure
if you got that price set in your head, it's
there.
I'm going
to buy for a while until I get to my goal. Once I'm there, then we'll see where everything is. And then I'll make a decision from there. But it's, you got to do what works for you. And really I would asking questions is fun for me to help kind of keep myself in line. Are you happy with the position you have?
Right.
If it goes up and you buy, will you be happy? If it goes down and you buy, will you be happy? Like to sort of play out the different scenarios.
Right.
And then
if you don't buy today and it goes to $12 on Monday, not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, will you be mad that you missed out, or will you still be happy that you got in at 12 because it's below where your price is already at,
That's helpful.
Because the difference between $1 or $2 isn't going to mean, a whole lot in the grand scheme of things if you have that one price that you're trying to get below. It's just,
unless you're buying like 5 million.
unless you're Unfortunately, I am not. We're working though. That's why we're here.
It's baby steps.
Come on. King Pop said, if you can afford 100 shares, I'd advise selling a put option instead. This is a horror option. King Pop is going off. CEO said himself, many more fundraising rounds before profitability. I'll give them an extra 1,000 for non-linear ramp up.
Yeah, they're going to need to get some things together.
Yeah. Doug said, when is the outlook for profitability of 2023 and 2024? Did they EQ, talk about that at all?
William Lee has talked about it
in the earnings, because I wasn't
there. One of the analysts, Citic Securities, gave an estimate for what the quarterly delivery numbers would need to be, but it also depends on what the margins are and that sort of thing too. So it's just kind of something I'm keeping an eye on. But William Lee basically said 2024 is kind of the year when he's expecting it. And he kind of revalidated that when he was asked about it. And let's see, maybe Peter says something about it here a little below.
Sure. Charles, did I miss him?
I think it's a little side chat.
Oh, is it? This top one?
Keep going. No, keep scrolling.
Oh, you're talking about down.
Yeah, their side chat, and then Charles.
Peter. So Charles said they probably thought you were part of the TV show 60 Days In, get ripped in prison. Awesome, dude.
No, you know what's funny?
I was literally watching that show.
We would sit there and watch that, and I'm like, look at us just watching this show already.
I was watching it like 2 weeks ago, and then they took the season off that was in the middle, and they just took it off of Netflix. It was one of the bad seasons, like 3 dudes tapped in like the first day.
Yeah. So, well, the interesting thing is, because I fought my case and I went to trial, I was an example that was made.
Tacked.
Yeah. Well,
on more.
The federal prosecutor made an example of me, and so then they put my case in the computers, so everybody through the whole system could look me up and pull up my case, and they would see that I went to trial. So
yeah.
So that was actually a good thing. Yeah, you go for it. That was actually a good thing for me because it meant some credibility, if that makes sense, and sort of that I wasn't a snitch or anything like that. And that's a good thing to not have to worry about that. But it was just bizarre, the whole thing. It's like I've lived my life, but it's crazy. It's bizarre. I don't know. I probably need to do separate videos. And at some point, I'm going to have some of my buddies, I've talked to them, and they're like, yeah, I'll come on there and talk to you. We'll do, if I get it to where it's like podcast and that sort of thing. And you'll just be amazed, some of these guys and what they've learned and been able to do while they were gone. Let's see. Peter says, NIO has enough cash after all debt is paid off to last them at current cash burn rates the last 7 quarters or Q3 2025. First profitable quarter in 2023 and profitable for the 2024 entire year from NIO. Yeah, I'm hoping so. I am hoping so. I'm really just enjoying the ride. I'm not going to lie. Jake says, I'll have 1,000 shares put to me today at $11. Will replace the 1,000 shares I had called away several weeks ago at $11.50. I had 10 $10 puts that will expire. I sold 10 $9.50 puts today and 10 $11.50 calls both for next Friday. So I'm curious, Jakes, I know that you trade regularly. Do you have a total share goal that you want to have for the long term for NIO? I'm curious about that because I know you're constantly, making moves and doing stuff week to week. But I'm curious about your long term goal if you have one
for Jakes.
For a total number because he's basically moving like 10 contracts at a time per week or 20 at a time. And then I'm at Charles now.
Charles said, I bought some shares today. Awesome. Tesla, in my opinion, is bringing down the EV market. I have a challenge for you, Aaron. If you dare to accept.
Oh, man. I don't know, Charles. You got me nervous. Ask me the prison questions.
Something crazy. Charles is getting deep. I like it, though. Chat's a little curious.
Yeah, it's fun.
I can know.
It's like, where are we at anyway? Because the market's closed. We didn't even look at NIO. We got the chart up, but we just.
Shall we take a look here? Looks like we closed at 10:49 today. Posts at 10:50. As far as volume, does it say it on here? Where's the volume? I'm not really familiar with the volume on this.
I only pull this up for when I'm on stream, and I should probably take some time to figure it out one of these days.
Don't worry, guys.
I'm always researching.
Chat will probably have the volume in there before I even say it.
King Pop says he's thinking Q3 net loss 578 million. Cash on hand 7.2 billion. That's
49
run way. How much? 49. Yeah, low enough that shorts could have played with price action.
Maybe a little. Did you read the King Pop?
Yeah, I'm at let's see, I'm at Domenico now.
All right, Domenico said Stock Mo maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Said to sell his NIO by 2025. I think in my opinion 2027 would.
Stock Mo is I don't know. I know he's been a long-term guy, but that's the time frame.
It's kind of anti-long-term.
That's not long-term to me. Especially with not knowing how long and how ugly this market can go, and when or how much the money might shift and go over to China. That could really change things, and either make it happen, make it shoot sooner, or take everything longer. I just don't know. So I don't want to. That's why I don't want to commit to something like that. My mentality is the CEO running the company in an interview talked about 2030. He wanted to be one of the top 5 companies in the world. So for me, I'm like, all right, his lens is 2030. Right. It makes sense for me to kind of adopt a similar mentality. That's why I probably won't, look to sell in 2025. But hey, if stock price goes and does something crazy,
take your gains.
I mean, yeah, it just depends on. There's a lot.
Have an exit strategy, I guess.
We've seen in a couple of years what things can do, right?
Yeah,
and that's without the company being profitable. So
yeah, and also Domenico. I mean, Stock Mo is no more of a financial advisor than me or.
He used to be
stock
broker. And but
so
I don't. It's no. How can I say? Ultimately, and it's funny the way I look at things is really kind of simple. But let's say you have a financial advisor. All right, so what? If your financial advisor tells you to do something and then you do it and you lose your money, is he going to reimburse you? No, it's your money. So that's my thought is I want to listen to what people have to say, especially if I consider them really high level. And Stock Mo, with respect, is not someone I personally consider to be super high level. No. Only because I like the research side, and I don't know how deep he goes on the research.
And I think saying something like sell by 2025 is just, I mean, why you don't know anything. You're not going to know what the stock price is at by 2025. You're not going to know whose average cost is at what. You're not going to know this. You're not going to know that about people's investments. So just blatantly being like, oh, just 2025 comes like sell is.
Yeah.
Just say it's something I wouldn't take to heart. I wouldn't take like super seriously. I think it's something more of like a personal plan.
Not to get too far off on the content creation, but we've had this talk off stream before where I always try to recognize, the channels that absolutely blow up and are really focused on selling and sales, and they get all the promos and they make a lot of money doing that stuff.
Yeah.
That's where they're making their revenue. It's not from being
not
necessarily
from
an
the
elite level
advice.
investor, if that makes sense. And,
Right.
and so I separate those things, but that's just me. Again, it's your money. It's Seth's money. It's everyone's money to do whatever you want with. So I just offer sort of a unconventional, different view and approach.
Sure. But yeah, I'd say, Domenico, at the end of the day, your money is yours. I wouldn't listen to anyone more than us, and I wouldn't take anyone's opinions more to heart than your own. At the end of the day, your money, you decide what you're going to do with it, but don't make any rash decisions.
Myself,
I was going to say, don't make any rash decisions based on, what one YouTuber said to do this, said to do that. Do your own research, man. DYOR,
Yeah, it's interesting though and I don't watch his channel.
So I was gonna say I also don't watch a lot of Stockmo. I mean, I've heard stuff about Stockmo, and
I watched him get big when he first. When I was like, oh, he's talking about NIO, okay. And I watched some of his early stuff on him. All right, sorry, chat.
Where we at? We're at King Pop. Stockmo said if NIO price doesn't move by 2025, like it's stuck at $10, and he will cut his losses. But if NIO is doing well, he would keep holding. So there's kind of
the reality is he's in a good spot because all the people watching his channel are creating the revenue he gets to invest with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
he can create a clickbait or create anything he wants, and that's simply generating more money for him to throw into.
And again, that's just the way I look at it is, all right, so is he making his money as an elite level investor or as being a really good salesman on YouTube? I mean, and props to him for doing that. I mean, Kevin does the same
money's
thing.
money.
Those other guys who are big.
Do your thing, but I would say don't go fully in on what anyone really says on the internet,
You just got to do
just a safe play. Peter, consider $3 billion debt. Jake said, I've been size 10K and was around 3.5 for months, sitting at 1K now, but will be at 2K after getting the $11 puts. So you're actually securing the shares that you're getting out of the puts and calls then, right? Not just trading them to not get them. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I've also always been curious on the puts. Does that work the same as calls then when it hits the strike price? So you're pretty much like eligible for those that stock at that strike price. If you sell a put, if it hits that price, then you can go and buy 100 shares at that price. Is that kind of that means or what?
He'll break it down.
Hell, let me know.
We got chat here to coach us up.
King Kong said they're not going to leave cash for debt. If they go bankrupt, then their physical assets will be liquidated by pay creditors.
They're going back and forth about profitability for NIO.
Domenico said King Pop, I hope NIO will not be $10 by 2025. I hope not.
Yeah, well, and again, back to my earlier Amazon, Tesla, Apple, the stock prices early on until they were profitable, they weren't exactly exciting or sexy. And so what's interesting is, although I'm not saying NIO has to move like those, after those companies became profitable, it was a little while after that generally they took off in another direction. And so then when you figure, okay, well, NIO has already had a nice trajectory and upside move. I'm really curious once they hit profitability, what happens. And if we don't see something similar play out, but I don't know what that looks like. And again, if we got this backdrop of crappy market, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be interesting. Will big money think it's more attractive then? Or maybe it doesn't matter at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Brent said Stockmo is a financial advisor.
Does he have his license right now? But anyway, if somebody, even if he tells someone what to do and they lose their money, he's not going to reimburse them. So that's my point is I don't mind. Somebody can be.
Being a financial advisor on YouTube is different than having also a personal client and stuff that you actually care about if they're making money or not versus just saying stuff on YouTube to get people to watch it.
I think it's a tricky, slippery slope there too with the whole.
Who knows?
But
who knows what's he doing? If he is, then go him. Let out the advice. Malai said, I keep buying until 2025. My goal is 10,000 lots. This is a great company. ET5 will bring a lot of money. Battery change stations will be the key in the future.
Yeah, love it. I love seeing people with that clarity of goal and what they want to do and knowing.
Set plan. Stick to it.
Yeah.
Charles said the challenge. Oh, here we go. Try to get a NIO employee to do an interview on your channel. I'm sure they have NDAs, though I'm sure someone would be willing to chat. Stockmo is now Stock Moo.
Not a bash.
Not a bash.
Well,
is he?
Look, I got to clear the air on this. Those promotions and the things like that, those companies pay a lot of money for people to promote their stuff. And the bigger channels probably get even more money for promoting it. And so I understand why a lot of the guys do it.
Sure.
I did let's see. West Mini tried to do something, but it didn't really take for Americans. We couldn't do it. And then Moo was something that I tried, but I actually wasn't real happy with the way it went, so I stopped doing it. Again, I'm different. I'm just a different sort of dude, and I'm wired different. That's all. And I want there to be value. That part of the value at that point was, you could, I think, get a free NIO stock or something, and you could have the opportunity, if you would want, to move your shares over to the Hong Kong or Singapore market. So, but it's people who grow their channel that way, man. Go them. It's
never hating.
Yeah.
And
they're making a loot doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of NIO shares out of it.
Brent said, but not to us on YouTube about the financial advisory thing, I would assume.
Yeah.
Charles said, just he pushes Moo hard.
Yeah. And again, that's they're getting paid to do that. They're making bank.
Jake said, it's all house money. I got in at $9 with 1K share and sold out. And the 50's been trading options since.
Well played, sir. Well played. So he had 10K and then
Sounds like a good time. Pop said, I thought Stockmo was a high school teacher.
He did that too.
I don't know.
He did that too.
Sounds like he dabbles in a little bit of everything.
That's what he did, and then he was able to go full time with YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Jake said, I try to generate 1K a week in premiums for the cash flow. That's good, man. That's the way to go.
That's outstanding.
King Pop said, most financial advisors are crap. If they were good, they wouldn't be working for people as financial advisors. Some people just love to use that degree, man. They're like, I went to 4 years of school. I might as well just use it.
Trying to keep a straight face. I mean, it's a fair point. It is. Again, I don't want to. Some people do want the security of that as a job, and it's not my place to judge or hate. But for me personally, all I need to know is that so and so is going to tell me what to do with my money. But if he loses it for me, he's not paying me back. So I can listen to him, but it's my money. So
I don't know if you guys know, but if I do end up going back to the next 2 years to finish my master's, it will be for finance. And my end goal is to be a quote unquote personal financial advisor. So not someone that necessarily works for a company, but you have your own clients and kind of build your own thing. But I feel like a lot of people that want a financial advisor might not want to do the diligence and the research and the time that it takes to be in the market. And I guess maybe they have confidence in that someone to do it for them. I don't know. Maybe they're just too lazy and don't want to go do all the extra stuff. So like, I'll just have someone else do it for them. Yeah. And if you got that kind of money to pay someone and you are that confident in them doing it, then by all means go you. But obviously I still believe in, doing your own research and picking your own plays and that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, only you know what you want. And that's just kind of my take on it. Peter said it's just a number equation. Oh, so they're still talking about the profitability.
Yeah.
Whole math equation in here by Peter.
Obama Medicare stuff? What's
Obama
up?
Medicare. Appreciate Stockmo's videos, but lately it feels like he just regurgitates the same information to keep making a video every day.
Yeah, I will say this. 2 years ago when he started and we were in this bull run where you could do a video on anything and anything was going up. And so there were a lot of channels that really got big fast off of talking about all these different companies. And so it was really interesting to see all that. And then to see how many of those channels aren't even doing videos now, or they're really sort of challenged And of course, I kind of honed in on one, and people all along were telling me, "Oh, you should talk about other stuff." And I'm like,
Right.
I've done my research here. I want to stick with kind of stay focused. But again, I'm just different. Like, and I don't know if that's good. So we're putting it out there.
It's good. It's not good. It's not bad. Just is. King Pop said, like I said, the debt won't run short. And still talking about Brent's head. Most don't exercise their calls or puts. That's what I was thinking. Like, if it doesn't go to the date, then you don't necessarily have to exercise it. If that's, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right, just keep it cash.
As they grow and get hopefully huge, most people sell them off. Almost no one exercises. Yes, I've never exercised, nor have I had ever the intent of actually exercising, I guess. TLM. Not buying 100 shares of any stock. Time to relax and focus. Let's go. Hello. Obama said, I think the live stream is delayed like 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
I hope it's not that bad.
Terrible.
It shouldn't be that bad. Let us know. Some people might be really confused.
Yeah. Hopefully we're not frozen. That could be bad.
Peter said, okay, I just use a simple equation just to silence any bankruptcy talking profitability on timelines and dilution. Argument that bears use, check mark. Love the clarification. King Pop said, if you sell put options, the price is at the price or lower, you'll be forced to buy the stocks at that price, sell $12 NIO calls, NIO ends at $8, you will be forced to pay $12. Yeah, I get the whole selling the calls. I was just wondering if it works the exact same way on the puts. It's just flipped on the downside, if that makes sense. Douglas said, I wonder what we'd be chatting about on Fridays in 2025. Don't we all? Hopefully chatting in a mansion.
Yes, celebrating.
Maybe like on a yacht doing live streams.
It'll be our own NIO house.
In a NIO. In a car. Live streaming. Brent says, Stockmo has also made over $2 million since he started his channel, YouTube revenue, sponsorship, and Discord. But 100% take everything he says with a grain of salt. He does a bit disclosing his earnings. Mind blown.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he hadn't made more than that, actually.
Yeah, no doubt. No one's doubting the fact that he ain't made some money off of this. He's definitely doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah.
He's getting his money for sure. For sure.
Up.
I'm just saying it's always important to believe in yourself. You know, I feel like it's the first step to believing in a company is you got to have conviction yourself, because if you're just following everyone else's plays and things don't work out, then you might be kind of caught in like a panic situation where you don't know what to do. Or if you don't have a goal or a plan set, then you're just like, oh shoot, like this didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the worst place you can maybe be, because then you panic sell or something like that. And, you know, it's obviously something we want to try and avoid as investors. King Pop said, I told some friends to buy AMD at $10. Their financial advisor told them not to.
Dang.
Pop's out here.
Did they fire him?
Did they fire him? Domenico, I think NIO will never say profitability to win. This market is not going up and all this market crash. Stockmo. Most of his portfolio is NIO. Can you believe it? I believe it.
I don't know. I think he's made so much money that I think he talked so many stocks. I mean, he loved Xiaopeng and everything was running and he did videos.
He's a bouncer. Almost bounces around.
So, but I also think he's a long-term kind of guy. So who knows what all he's holding? I don't know. And with no disrespect to him, I don't care. But I have always thought that he was a NIO long and that he would probably be in it for a while. But again, where he's making most of his money from content creation, so he doesn't need to be an elite level investor. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, that's kind of the way I look at it. It's pretty simple.
And you know, a lot of the times you can still make great money in the market if you don't believe in a stock, or if you're not necessarily long term. Obviously, that's a short term part of it, but maybe he's not releasing. You know, maybe he's not releasing all of his short term plays where he makes money, and he's just like saying he's long term. I don't know. I don't watch his channel, but you know, there's a lot of ways to make money in this market. Whether you believe in a stock or not, you can make money on it. Jake said, King Pop, correct. If I'm weighing the money, I use a spreadsheet to determine the roll or not. There have been weeks when I lost. But with anything, I shoot to have more wins than losses.
Nice.
Stefanos, what's up, man?
Yes.
First 2 swap stations in. I know. Netherlands.
Sorry.
I don't know why I was blanking out right there. And you were yawning. I was like, what's going on? Netherlands already under construction, soon in operation. One of the 2 is 10 minutes from me. Nice. Surprisingly, that'd be sweet. I mean, if it goes up anytime soon, man, we'd love to see pictures or videos or
what's funny is
anything.
I saw on Twitter whenever they do the swap stations that people are there for like the first one or whatever. Everybody's like crouched down taking pictures, and so somebody in the NIO community, that might be on stream today, they were like NIO power swap station or battery swap station, breaking knees or something everywhere, because
everyone's like bent down taking pictures, like, whoa, what's this?
It's hilarious.
I'm sure they look cool. I just want to see one. I just want to see one like go in action.
Yeah,
we don't have access to that.
We should do a Team NIO on one.
We could.
There's some stuff out there. We got some content to put together, folks. I gotta say,
that's our bad.
We gotta get it together.
We'll get there.
Yeah, you should, Stefanos. That'd be funny. Hey, see if everybody's down there.
I might go take a look. Funny. Right when it opens, check out the paparazzi around it. I want to know.
It's funny.
What are your thoughts on the NIO phone? Said Douglas.
NIO phone, can't wait to see it. William Lee said he didn't say much, but he said basically they want to stay with premium. They want to stay, high level with it. So
not a lot of information.
It's going to be Gucci. That's what I think. Not Gucci the brand. You know what I'm saying? Gucci like good.
Like good.
High level. Let's go.
Yeah, if you guys aren't with the new lingo that Aaron's using.
King Pop says bend the knee.
Bend the knee. Kaylana said, Aaron, do you still own BlackBerry?
I still like BlackBerry. I think it's a nice long term. And I also think it's got potential as a meme. And so I'm curious. I don't know if it's going to be a short squeeze play or not. But I like if you look at one of the things I like about them is one, their cybersecurity, and that is going to be emerging if it's not already. And then the other is that I think they're going to successfully rebrand. And if you look at their partners, they're partnered with a lot of big players, and I'm bullish on that. So it's still a nice long term. I wish I had more money so I could do more things, but it's baby steps. Baby steps to
potential
to greatness.
King Pop said, "House of Dragons is a great show." All right.
Oh, I just realized, Charles, I never answered your challenge question about finding NIO staff. You know what I won't do? I won't. Even if I had access to somebody, I wouldn't share anything that I wasn't supposed to share, if that makes sense. Because I wouldn't want to jeopardize anyone, if they did work for NIO, sharing things that, weren't allowed to be shared. Plus, part of the
super secret
is trying to figure things out and make calls on things, like predict things. Like, I'm still not ruling out possible BYD partnership. Come on, knock on wood. Let's go. Shock us. Come on, Mr. EQ. I'm hoping they do
and praying
together, man. Oh, that would be beast mode.
Jake said, years ago I sold a bunch of puts on AMD back in the $40 range. They tanked, and I got them put to me. I freaked, but held tight and got out with more than double.
Nice.
Holding tight. Stefanos, you guys need to start using the NIO app.
I wish
we could.
I wish we could.
He said, I've been able to reach out to many key management staff in the EU and had many insightful conversations. They answer on weekends. Who does that? Interesting.
Yeah, NIO. Just the NIO community. They're so focused on the user, and that's why they're very well positioned as that premium brand. I think they're going to do really well. Yeah, for sure.
Jesper, do you know what happened to the Fresh Mind Investing channel?
Joyce. I remember Joyce. I miss her. She was really focused on Chinese-based companies, and they were taking such a beating. And there are, I think, two parts of this. One, she had talked about in her videos, and I could tell that it was really getting to her, the negativity and toxicity and the nastiness that some people were bringing in the comments. And the other part of this is she at one point, I think, got tired of hearing the doubters and haters. And so she kind of shared like a little bit of one of her portfolios. And she had made like, it was like 400 or 800 grand that year trading on her own. In other words, she didn't need to have a channel.
Right.
And so I think she just said, it's not worth my time, the stress that comes with this. And I understand, but I miss her. Joyce, shout out our baby Neo. That's what she'd always say.
Our baby Neo.
Yeah. But I hope she'll come back. I don't know. It'd be fun to chat with her.
Always. Domenico's in China. There's a taxi company with battery swap stations. Swap in 1 minute, and the car goes from the front and doesn't reverse in the battery station. I've seen the videos; they're very cool.
Yeah, the company is it Alton, AULTON? If so, NIO has an interest in it.
Ooh.
Let's go, NIO.
Jake said in the 1 month chart, NIO, no close above $12 and no close below $9. Consolidation sideways. What will be the catalyst?
That's the question. Will it be, as Roman said, the
where are we breaking?
Monthly
where are we breaking?
Or will it be maybe PCA will be news? Or maybe it'll be none of that because the market needs the bottom.
Or maybe we'll just stay here for another 3 months.
Well, Kathy said about Tesla, the longer it consolidates, the bigger the move when it goes. Is that what we're going with?
Kathy said it. Don't know what else
Poor
to do.
Kathy, they're getting woo. I talk about having a tough time.
Yeah.
Woo-wee, boy. But speaking of tough times, that's random. I don't know. I just went there.
Speaking of tough times,
Justice, appreciate it, Aaron. If you were to accept my challenge for a live interview, it would be good to do a preview and what's off limits. Would you do a collab with Mr. P? He has some good NIO hookups. Yeah, Mr. P. He did a shout out to me a long time ago. And I was really happy when he started with because his first video, the first one I ever saw of him was in the Beijing, I think, NIO house. And I was like, yes, somebody on the ground, doing videos, because nobody was, not a lot. There were few people covering. Marcel, of course. Marcel's the man. But there were not a lot of people covering NIO at that time. So yeah. I was excited to see his channel. And
it was once upon a time, guys. It was really hard to find NIO investors. Yeah, it's like searching the desert for some water. It's rare. Now look at us.
You're right, Trav Billy. Nobody's talking about that.
NIO glasses will probably be used for the metaverse. Don't see any other car companies doing that.
You're absolutely right. It's funny when I see. Okay, I came back from prison and I'm looking around going, wow, tech's changed a lot. And then I started studying NIO and some of what the technology's doing over in China. And I was like, whoa, we are way behind here.
Yeah.
Like they've got some really cool stuff going on over there.
I got a NIO idea.
Okay. Yeah.
So I told you, I went shopping this weekend, right? And I was at the outlet malls and they have like a fragrance store. I walk into this fragrance store because we were passing time when my friend was in North Face, whatever, checking out this big old line. I was like, I'll go smell some colognes. And I'm talking to this lady and I was just like, so like, what do you guys sell the most of? Like, she said across all 10 stores across the nation. I guess I could ask you to guess but you would never guess. The number one best-selling cologne was Mercedes-Benz cologne.
That's crazy.
Across the nation. And
Status
I was like,
has nothing to do with it, I'm sure.
I was like, what? Like, really? Like, they got YSL, they got Polo. Like, yeah, but it doesn't smell any different than the other 15 colognes. So it's like, all right. So they got YSL, they got Givenchy, they got Polo, they got anything Calvin Klein, anything you could ever want as far as premium branding, right? And Mercedes-Benz is the number one. And they just had entered. They're a new mover in the cologne game. Like, I don't know if it's been around for like ever, but she was like number one. It just took me by surprise. So then I was like,
NIO's got that vineyard.
Whoa.
Maybe they're going to
does NIO want to get out a little fragrance, a little NIO smell, a little cologne?
I can't wait till we can get on the app and we can check something.
They can make like a really cool, like kind of premium bottle, like make it look nice. The Mercedes one's is cool though. It had to just be the branding and the marketing. It's like everyone wants Mercedes-Benz colognes. You're gonna smell like a brand new Mercedes. Who doesn't love that smell?
It smells like leather.
Marketing. So I was getting to think about it. I was like, wait a minute. Does NIO have anything working with cologne? That could be like the only thing that I can think of that NIO's like not that we haven't talked about.
Life and see because they got a lot of products.
They got so much going on, but I don't think any colognes. Could be crazy. Could be crazy. I don't know if cologne's like a big thing in China either. I mean, they wear cologne. They got to wear some colognes.
Oh, if it's high, like if
high end
premium
colognes,
they
got it.
For it there, yeah.
Just a thought. Not saying anything has to happen.
Fragrance.
Just
fragrance.
saying. Peter said NIO's 2 upcoming sub brands could easily bring them delivery numbers to another level. We are at 10 to 15K now with sub brands. We could be at 50 to 60. I do think sub brands will have a big deal, but
sub brands going to be big. I don't know when.
That's got to be a big delay though,
NIO
right?
Park,
We got to wait quite a while.
NIO Park is for that, and they're working on it now for 2023. Hopefully, hopefully they'll be done halfway through the year. I think that's the sort of expected time frame. But if they have a partnership with BYD on the other sub brand.
And of course, a sub brand would, I feel like, help a lot with deliveries. Yeah. Interesting to see.
Let's go.
King Pop said we better be at 60K a month even before the sub brands. King Pop's got expectations.
Said, come on, Neo.
Charles said True Alfonso from
Twitter. Yeah.
From Twitter is pretty active on Twitter and works for NIO.
He's the NIO
Alfonso
evangelist.
Yeah.
Is what his title is. And so, yeah, he's supposed to be putting the word out.
He's a hype man.
He's the hype man.
That's kind of a cool job. Huh?
He had a couple of pretty good posts here the last couple of days, like power swap stations going online and stuff.
Cool. Douglas said, what do you think will be introduced at NIO Day?
Vehicles. We're gonna get new product lineups, and maybe we'll get to see a little about the phone. We're still waiting on the solid state hybrid battery. We're still waiting on NIO autonomous driving. So there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah. Trav Billy said, I'm thinking NIO will be profitable by end of 2023.
Man, I hope so.
That'd be great. But yeah, we're always talking about that special little 2025. Charles said Elon did burnt hair for cologne. Could do burnt rubber.
Except NIO actually wants to be premium. They don't want to be cheesy.
Burnt rubber with like a hint of something good. Montague.
What's up?
What is going on with NIO Life, Aaron? A-Rod.
I wish I could see more because we can't get the NIO app here yet.
No.
And
unfortunately.
So we're missing out. But you know who I follow on
I wonder
Twitter?
if we get a VPN.
Nick, who
if we can download
so
it.
We need it. That's
anyone a hacker? Not
that. But what was I saying? Nick
NIO
on
Life.
Twitter. I follow Nick. He's in Chengdu, and he sometimes will scroll through and show stuff, some of the products that are on NIO Life, so you can kind of get a preview. I think there are probably a couple of other people on there who do the same, but
they got a wine. They got to be coming out with a cologne. They got to be colognes in the future.
All they have to do is collab with somebody.
Don't forget, I said cologne. They got the vineyard, dude. I feel like a vineyard and a cologne, like just kind of like go together. They're fancy.
Oh, King Pop, you're right. Swap Station 3.0, yeah, the upgrade. Woo.
The EC7, ES9, and maybe ET3 announcements. More European countries, besides the UK and others already revealed. Some more hopes for NIO Day.
We need those big numbers. We need those big delivery numbers and kind of set the tone for it.
Sure. Swap stations. Pretty sure you can VPN to download the NIO. I mean, you can VPN almost anything. I just don't know. The NIO app.
I have a hard enough time using the interweb. Peter,
EC7, NT 3.0 battery swapping, 3.0 sub-brand release date, separate of NIO Day. All good things. All anticipated things.
They've got so much going. It's
a day of anticipation.
It's going to be wild.
Are we caught up?
I think we're caught up.
We're caught up.
And I think this is a good point because we
might have to say goodbye.
William
Lee already said sub-brand launching 2024. So
if they're doing
a potential hint.
Construction for NIO Park.
Just got to hope everything's not getting pushed out like it seems to have been the past.
Well, that's one of the things I've been talking about is they're opening up faster than I thought they would. But let's see. Knock on wood. It's not a done deal yet.
Stuff happens.
We need to see big numbers.
Stuff happens.
Big numbers.
Yeah. We're always hoping for them.
There's definitely been a pivot. Definitely a pivot in China.
So Soy Dog Cowboy comes in here with a little ending note here, guys. Bought this turd at 40. Bought the turd at 45. Have no expectations. I'll recover, but we'll be a write-off. Hey, man, stick around for the ride. Hop on the streams every once in a while.
Yeah.
Let us know. That's funny.
It's
I feel like this guy's got a personality.
Vibes,
Yeah,
bring
I
the
mean,
soy dog back.
Yeah, come on, soy dog. Bought this turd at 45. I was buying that turd at higher than that. So don't you worry, soy dog. Here's Matt. Said Montague. Tribally said everything is going monthly payments. We've seen it with Netflix. Then Elon with Twitter. If he succeeds, every platform will follow. Monthly battery payments, NIO. See how it works. Yeah, monthly payments seem to be a trend, I guess, in the new tag.
NIO had the Bass early. That's one of the, that's actually fun fact. I don't know if you knew this. The reason I started doing videos is I couldn't get anyone to try and give any value for the Bass, the battery as a service.
Well, you used to evaluate it all the time.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't know how it was even set up or structured, but darn it, I tried.
That's all that matters.
Concept is the key.
What was the original valuation that you didn't? Was it like
we need to bust out that? It was like
that
100.
Okay, was it
like 100? That was when I had the hat on in front of the lake.
Yeah,
let's go. We're gonna run it back. We're gonna do Team NIO on that one.
We will. The OG videos.
Yeah.
Montague said I posted a link for the map of NIO in Europe. You posted it where?
Well, I don't know if we can see it because we're on the thing, so it's a little. Well, hopefully people could see it.
You can always post in the comments or whatever.
Yep, for sure.
Last time NIO was this price was July 2020.
Oh wow.
She's been bouncing all over. Peter said, thanks, King Pop. Montague posted the link. King Pop, hope Subbrand can share swap stations with NIO. May swap station 3.0 can house 5 sub. You would hope, ideally, that they'd be able to share. But maybe the sub-brands don't offer the swap, or has that already been confirmed, non-confirmed? Do you know if sub-brand is offering
I don't know if they're
a swap option?
Because they have
Because if it's a sub-brand,
well,
do you necessarily
NIO
need?
has XPT Global, and they put together the battery packs and the powertrains.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to do it all. I don't know if they'll do it all the same.
Under the sub-brand?
Yep.
Or not?
I don't know.
Again,
and also
more questions. It changes the layout.
We've got a lot to uncover.
Guys, time. Give us time. Montague said copy and paste.
Yeah, just try and drop it in the comments.
Drop it in the comments on the video. People will see it. We're not getting the link right now in the restream, but it'll be there.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. I
Very
feel like
happy.
Jack could just keep going.
Chat probably could. They miss me. Did you guys?
Mustache.
They're like,
it's too bad Jeff didn't come through though.
I know.
Because he would have definitely commented on the stash.
Always. I remember NIO said sub-brand would have LiDAR and swappable batteries. Think even said would have their own separate swap stations. See, I wonder if that gets a little murky, in the waters, if doing all that. I mean, maybe once they, get 100% down the swap batteries for the actual brand, then they decide to do it. I don't know.
But
I feel like maybe it gets confusing, but
long term in his view,
like I always say, they're genius engineers, and William Lee obviously have thought 10 steps farther ahead than I can even fathom when I'm answering these questions. So, I just guess.
On the links, I see you guys trying to post them. We're going to wrap, and we'll close this out, and then you should be able to post
them after we end it, and so people can click on it.
Yeah, and then we'll run it back next week. Let's go.
Next week, baby. We'll be seeing you.
I love our global community.
All right, everybody.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
As always, we enjoyed it. We love it.
Thanks for liking, because I just remember to.
Because sometimes we ask you to do it, and we're not asking that much.
Every once in a while, we remember.
All righty, y'all. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, and